This is a Speman Mixometer shower valve. I just want to do a short video on how to rebuild, disassemble and reassemble one of these. I've had these in my house for 30 years. They date back to about 1915. I've lived here, like I said, about 30 years, and I've redone mine. I think this will be the third time. Every 10 to 12 years, you have to go through and replace these seals. And I just set this together to show you what you do. You take the little cap nut off the top, pull your handle off, then remove the cap, and there's a lock right here that cap goes into. So at that point you can just simply lift off the Mixometer porcelain to see where it's at. Set those things aside, except for the handle. You'll need that. Now when you go to remove the internal portion of it, you want to put this on and move your valve all the way open. That's usually a counterclockwise turn, turns it all the way open. That gets it ready to pull the inside out of the casing, the housing itself. So you take a look, you can see right here is where you'll need a wrench, a large wrench. I just use a crescent wrench and take it simply counterclockwise like everybody else does, and take it apart. Now, here's the problem. You want to make sure it's open, because if these valves are stuck, you want this thing open because it helps pull those out. What you have are these two cylinders that go in, and keep in mind that the top is always this part right here with the knob. That's the top on your Speman valve. The top is where the notch is at. And they go in these two, I don't know if you can see them very well, those two holes is where these two pistons go in. And sometimes they get stuck, you'll get them about part way out, and it'll be tough as nails to finish it off. So you have it out, and what you can see is there's two rubber seals. Those seals are actually just for garden hose, just a regular garden hose, 1-inch garden hose seal that goes right over the top of this particular valve. Now, let me see if I can pull that out. I'll tell you what, let me unscrew one of these. These will unscrew fairly easy. You have to hold this piece right here in the back, right there, and then you can unscrew them. But if you see that you unscrew them, then you can find yourself a 1-inch by 3/8 inch gasket that you can put in there. And I strongly suggest that you get one of these gaskets to install first. Now these are just fine, but as you can see, there's no pressure on the bottom of this. It goes right through. But on these, you will then have a better seal. And what I try to do is I find two of these gaskets. The new ones aren't thick enough, and I install them with two thick, which will take you all the way up to the bottom of that gasket. That way that little ring is filled in and the seal is closed on top of it. So that's the way I do it. You can see the one I have right here. This was two of them together, and over the years it just got crushed after 13 years of use. I think this last set I did was 13 years. This is an old one that came out of my house that somebody else tore out, and luckily they left it in the basement so I could figure out how to rebuild these. So anyway, you can put two of these in. I certainly encourage you to do at least one. And then you could put the hose, garden hose ring on the top of it. If you don't have them, you can put two garden hose rings or even one garden hose ring, because they're just a little bit thicker. And then when you get done, you do the same reassembly that you did before. Get them together, tighten these up fairly well. Let me see if I can get that together. And you simply reassemble. Remember, the knob goes on top. And once you get them in right here, this is where the part that'll be tough sometimes. You even have to tap on that stem to try to get them to seat. This one seats pretty good. The last one that I did, it took me an hour to get it pulled out. Actually, I had to use a pry bar. But remember, when you start taking these apart, open the valve completely. Then start screwing on this part right here. Don't leave the valve closed because if there is a sticky spot, that will help pull it out as you turn this counterclockwise. And then reassembly is the same as I just showed you on how to take it apart. You just reverse that and move on. So the Speakman mixometers, they last a long time, and they're actually very simple. And being able to find the 1-inch gaskets with a 3/8 hole in the middle isn't that hard. If not, the garden hose gaskets are cheap and easy to find. Good luck with your mixometer.